Today, the International Court of Justice has announced its decision on emergency provisional measures against Israel. The ICJ has ordered Israel to take measures to prevent acts of genocide in the Gaza Strip, saying that Israel must report back in 1 month. The court says that Israel must prevent and punish incitement to genocide in the Strip, and that they must also allow humanitarian aid in. The court obliges Israel to take more measures to protect Palestinian life, but does not order a full ceasefire. On December 29th, South Africa filed a case at the ICJ, the highest world court, and accused Israel of violating the 1984 Genocide Convention during its near 4-month bombardment of Gaza, which began on October 7th. Since then, more than 23,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of them women and children. 2.2 million have been displaced, creating catastrophic conditions of hunger, according to the United Nations. The court has 15 judges that will evaluate South Africa's case and determine whether Israel's military operation in Gaza amounts to an act of genocide under the UN Convention. This case comes up at a time where the international community is harshly condemning Israel's conduct during the war. In December, the UN General Assembly passed a non-binding resolution calling for a ceasefire. Human rights organizations from Save the Children to Amnesty International have condemned Israel's conduct and called for a ceasefire. Even the Pope has spoken on the conflict, stating that he, quote, pleads for an end to the military operations with their appalling harvest of innocent civilian victims, end quote. It will take several years for the court to decide on whether or not Israel's actions in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank qualify as genocide. However, in the interim, the court has ruled on measures. South Africa had asked the court to order several measures to stop the violence in Gaza until the court provides its definitive ruling. Some of those measures included that Israel suspend military operations in and against Gaza, that Israel's military organizations do not escalate military operations any further, that Israel allow access to adequate food, water, fuel, shelter, hygiene, and sanitation, and that Israel prevent the destruction of Palestinian life in Gaza. South African lawyers have called upon their own historical context, highlighting similarities between South African and Israeli apartheid. In response to the 84-page legal case written by South Africa documenting genocidal intent from Israeli officials, Israel gave a predictable response. It's anti-Semitism. It's blood libel. Yet, this systematic obfuscation of any critique of the ethno-state's conduct has worn thin. More than 50 countries have expressed support for South Africa's case at the United Nations top court. Here are just some of the expressions of genocidal intent that South Africa cited in its case against Israel.
It's an entire nation out there that is responsible. It's not true. This rhetoric about civilians not aware, not involved, it's absolutely not true. They could have risen up, they could have fought against that evil regime which took over Gaza in a coup d'etat. But we're at war. We are at war. We're at war we're defending our homes. We're protecting our homes. That's the truth. And then when a nation protects its home, it fights. And we will fight until we'll break their backbone.
אנחנו מטילים מצור מוחלט על העיר עזה. אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם ואנחנו נוהגים בהתאם.
حماس تحولت لداعش وسكان غزة بدل ما يصدمهم الاشي عم بيحتفلوا مع هيك وحوش بشرية رايحين نتعامل كيف لازم. إسرائيل فرضت إغلاق كامل على غزة ومش راح يكون في عندكم كهرباء ولا مي بس دمار. بدكم جهنم راح تحصلوا على جهنم.